And thank you everyone for joining this session. We'll start. So we are going to discuss, and there are lots of things to discuss on the May highlights release. Let us start with the rollout and the schedule. So next Sunday, April 29, it's going to be the installation in all multi-tenant sandbox. A week later, on the total care environment, and May 13 on the multi-tenant production, and 2 weeks later for local, we will make the package ready on the STP for our local customers. So let's start with our agenda. There are a lot of nice things coming in May. We are going to talk about, and I will do even a short demo about the open access. We are in this release add an icon to the open access, and also ability to filter material that is considered and flagged as open access. We'll discuss it. We also did some enhancements to the resource recommended to improve the matching. We're going to discuss about how your library catalog can be visible on the web. Some effort that we are did. Two aspects there. We also discuss. I will also try to explain about the standard schema that we use to do that in order to allow this. Fourth bullet, the enhanced Primo API suite. This is an ongoing effort as part of our strategy to being open. We are, with this release, trying to expose more services, same as being used on the new interface, to allow you to develop tools calling the Primo API as well. New feature coming in this release, it's currently defined as beta, but it's really a nice experience, nice discovery experience through news. We are going to demo a new landing page to allow searching only on news material. So this is the newspaper set we'll discuss later and do a demo. Another item that we'd like to discuss is for the Primo Central material. We'll now have a book facet values as a separation from the book. This is an old nurse. It's not a nurse that voted annually, but it's an old nurse suggestion, and now we are implementing this. And in addition, something that was missing for you from the classics, we add a feature, the pre-filter search, also to the new UI, according to the customer success. After discussing all of these, there are really additional items that I would like to discuss, also the performance improvement, and a really nice tool that is going to come very soon. It's not related to the release, but we call it the Primo Studio. Next week in Luna, we are going to demo it live for our customer, and we'll do a dedicated webinar once it will be rolled out. So we'll do a teaser for this exciting Primo Studio. And last, I'm going to share with you some of the items that that are expected to come in the August release. Okay, so let's start. So regarding the open access, so as part of our strategy to leverage more content that is considered to be free to read for your patrons, we worked to we worked and we did a work on the Primo Central, and we tried to identify and flag which of the material there is considered to be open access. Doing so, and this is an ongoing effort, and it's an ongoing effort to know which collection should be marked as an open access. So doing so, this is only a first phase where we are now for the Primo Central records can help the user easily identify which open access, which material is an open access. We are doing that by displaying a special icon for open access on top of the new interface for those items that are flagged as open access. So there will be an open access icon on those records flagged as open access. And in addition to that, we are also allowing a facet for open access. We will allow ability to filter the results only for the open access material for the patron. So as I said, both facet and icon are available only on UUI. And I also emphasize that we did work to allow this to allow the display of the open access and the filter on open access on the Primo Central index by identifying those collections that are considered to be free to read. So those collections will be currently displayed as an open access. I must say that this is the first phase for us for providing this content. There are also some challenges with hybrid collection, and on the road we are going to do some work to separate those hybrid collections to to the material that is considered to be an open access and to material that is restricted. So this is only a first phase, and we are looking for feedback from you in order to improve and involve in this feature. So telling you that this ability to mark the content as open access is, again, available on the new UI for Primo Central Record. I would like also to emphasize that if you have a local catalog that is considered to be open access from your tank, you can add an indication. You can add an indication for your local catalog to be marked as an open access, and also to enjoy the ability to filter that local records according to that. In order to do that, you will have to apply some changes to the normalization rule and index your catalog to allow this ability. There is article on that, more article in the Knowledge Center on the open access, how we flag it, what is considered to be from items of open access, and also how to allow the ability to normalize it for the local catalog. So you are welcome to read an open access and also to give us feedback. I would like to, as I said, I already stated by heart, that this is only a first phase because we did not mark with more material that we know that is open access. It currently will not be flagged since it's probably part of a hybrid collection. So this feature is going to be evolved. In the article that I mentioned, you will also see how we managed to flag open access material. And I would like also to say that since there is some kind of the open access facet will be displayed a little bit differently from the other facet. It will be displayed without counters, since there are records can be part of a group that is also part of the restricted collection, and the counters. It's a challenge to display counters this way. Let's do a demo for that. So I'm going to show you how the content is going to be flagged. So just search for open access, and I can see that I have now a facet that is named open access. I'm filtering it. I'm filtering the material by open access. I'm working on the scope of Primo Central. Currently, it's out of the box for the Primo Central record. And as you can see, the records now are being flagged as open access with a dedicated icon for that, and this is currently is the filter. The open access is part of our top level facet as appeared here, and it also is going to appear as part of our full display. So this is about the coming open access feature. Next, I would like to share with you the enhancement that we did for the resource recommender. So previously, last year, we released the resource recommender. Just 2 sentences, what is the resource recommender? The resource recommender helps the librarian to suggest recommended resources, to suggest on resources, while the patron are performing a search. So, and those resource recommender will be displayed on top of the search results. So, if I know that my patrons are looking for a JSTOR, I can recommend her on this specific database. And if I know that they are looking for psychology, I can recommend them on material, LibGuide, suggested librarian, and external database to look for a specific material for those for the toxicology area. So we released it last year, it said, and we released it only by performing an exact match. So library had to configure in the back office admin a searchable tag, and for those searchable tags to suggest the resource recommender. And so far, we did it by exact match for the searchable tag. Now, with the May release, we enhanced this matching to work more and play with the words, meaning we had the ability to add synonym and inflections and only and removing the stop words and all of them, and to do even partial matching. So doing so, it's going to improve and rank higher those recommended resources, not only by the patron exact phrase, that exact query phrase. So this is the enhancement for the resource recommender. And I will do a short demo. Just I would like to emphasize that when you are going to add more searchable tags, if you would like to see the effect of the new and updated searchable tags in terms of if I'm doing if I'm adding a plural, singular plural for those tags, the effect of the changing will be only come after the next auth swap, because those searchable tags are going to be indexed. So you will be able to text your searchable tags after deploying immediately, but with all of those playing around with those searchable tags with synonym and inflections and partial match, it can only be available after the auth swap. So those kind of examples those are examples for what kind of search are now going to available. So if you define a searchable tag that is food and drug administration, you will also be able to find it if the patron is searching for FDA. Of course, for the inflection, if you're doing the history and target and history, it's going to be matched, and the results are going to be fetched and at the end of display. We also play around with the removing of the stop words, also play around with the non-order, and do some partial match. And of course, all of these should work together in harmony. So let's do a short demo for that. So now we are going to see the ability to find a partial match. So if I tag early modern English literature in my back office and I'm searching for that, I'm able to find it. If I tag histories and I'm searching for histories, it's also going to be raised here. Also, if I'm tag education dataset and I'm searching for dataset education without the S, and with the playing around with the order, I'm also being suggested by this database. So this is the enhancements that are going to be for the resource recommender. Okay, next. Okay, for this item of making the library catalog visible on the web, I would like to discuss this item in two aspects. First thing that we did is allowing the deep links from the new UI to be available to the web. So far, it wasn't. There was an issue to display new UI deep links to the web in terms of some kind of technology limit, and we bypass this. So doing so now, if a library choose to expose a subset of a record or specific search scope in the record to the web, to other search engines such as Google, they can go into the generate sitemap tool in the back office, activate the tool for the dedicated search scope that they would like to expose, mark it there that there is a new UI, and the output of that is the output of this sitemap tool will be a file which is called a robot.txt file that contains all of the links to the records, that are going to be exposed to the search engine crawlers. And those links are going to be in the format of the new UI. So if you are going to activate it after the May release, this sitemap tool to expose your records to the web, those records will be visible through Google. You can see now what I see, that there is an example from my demo, a record specifically from my demo server that is being exposed in Google. And if I've been linked to that, it will take me to the full display in the new UI. So this was the first step of making the library visible on the web for specifically records within the records that are going to be displayed on top of the new interface. So that was the first step. The next step, and it's much more to highlight here, is that we not only expose the record, those resources to the web, we are also starting to use a common schema, a common standard to allow those records visible more highly in the web. And we are using what we call the structured data. We are using the schema.org, which is a schema that is common to wrap the data in the web. So we try to align to the standard here. And the first phase that we did currently in May release is to wrap and decorate those PNX or record or resources in the vocabulary of the schema.org. And what you can see here, that is this is might be technical, but you can see that a record representation in what we call the schema.org JSON LD format. You know that for the schema.org there are also a special definition for the bib record. So we try to use this and work how to map the PNX to the corresponding schema.org. So this is the first phase. So we know, so far, we know that records can be visible and they can be marked as resources in a common and standard way for the web. We did it for the May release, and we also are using an external consultant that is expert on that to discuss and to help us better define how those records are going to be visible and rank highly in the web. So this is so as the next phase, and with the advices of this consultant, what we are trying to achieve now in the next phase in the roadmap for the library, for exposing library catalog, is to not only wrap those resources in the schema.org, but also to create the link data. The real link data is more about creating the graph and the relation among resources in the world. And what I'm trying to achieve by telling you that if you have content if you have on your PNX link data, meaning a URI for author or for subject, or like identifier like the OCLC or a PubMed ID, and we will try to identify those linking and and also expose it in the standard of the schema.org, creating those links and identifier with the URI. And when the search engines like Google see that one resource is connected to other resource, the chances that those resources will be ranked highly by Google or by other search engine it will improve the visibility of will make the visibility of the records rank highly. So it's also, this is on our roadmap, how to link make the data that is currently available, the offer creator, the subject ID. Perhaps we will work on also to allow those customized links that you are putting in the field. We'll do some kind of configuration for that during the roadmap. So the more links data that you have, and the ability of us exposing it from the schema.org will create this graph that we are talking about. We are also considered to have availability data there. You should also know that if you are putting on the data some kind of search context, if I'm searching and I'm also give a link to my library, and within my library link to my organization, to the university, it will help build the graph, and then it will help the search engine to see that those catalogs are more meaningful than other material regarding to the search that the user are performing. So this is what I would like to share with you about the ability to link data, and I'm encouraging you now to start using the sitemap tool and expose the data of the library. If one library will expose their data and the other library will expose it, and there will be some kind of connection, you will help to create a library material graph in the web as well. This regarding to the link data. Next, I would like to share some updates on the Primo REST API suite. So previously, on the February release, we exposed the ability to call within API to the search, to get also the view configuration and also some translation, and the ability to search that was exposed in the February release was for guest user. Now, with the May release, we are adding more, and we're adding the ability, we're exposing capabilities for signed-in user. So we are now, with the May release, there will be an ability to call the API to search for signed-in user, and also to get the favorites data by API. So if to return, we'll have a service that helps to get the user saved records. Okay, and in order to do that, there will be specifically user JWT. This is a little bit technical. A user JWT service that will be also opened only to cloud customer from security reason. And this service is going to be to retrieve a JWT indicator on the user. And doing so with this user JWT indicator, you will be able to call the Primo search, passing it this indicator, and able to search also to call API to search and retrieve also restricted search with restricted data that is allowed for this user. Also, it's going to be the same if you are providing to the favorites API service this JWT indicator. You will be able to get the saved records for the given user. So this is what about the enhancement, more enhancement to the API suite. Okay, now I would like to talk about the newspaper search, and I will give some kind of motivation for that. So the motivation for the newspaper search is that we recognize and see that currently when you search against, for instance, Primo Central, you have their scholarly material and also news. And we saw that the library tends to exclude the newspaper in order to allow the scholarly material be ranked more higher in the search results. So doing so, and with the strategy that we would like to share with you of identify special material and special materials such as we decided to take the news material and provide a dedicated discovery experience for news only, and to enrich the and even to allow the enrich and allow more news collection to be displayed there. So for this purpose, and for this purpose, what we did in the May release now is that we're providing a new landing page for newspaper. So it will help the patron find more easily content on the news. And another motivation is that now, if I know that in my standard search, in the standard search, if I'm excluding the newspaper, it will help rank the scholarly material over there. So, and it's going to be apart from the search against Primo Central. We are allowing a new landing page for the newspaper. We also now have a dedicated index for newspaper with much more and new collection is going to be new news collection and specialized content is going to be added to that index. It's also allow you, the customer, doing so, providing a dedicated landing page for the newspaper. We are also allowing you also what we call the featured newspaper to emphasize and to provide specifically news search scope for your patrons according to your according to the material that you choose to do. So we also providing them that you the ability to configure and to expose and do a promotion for special news content such as like historical news or a business and finance collection. You will be able to configure in the Primo admin, in the Primo back office, up to 5 bullets, up to 5 features, and to define for each one of them up to 5 IC10, up to 5 collections, to special collection to search into. Let's do a demo for that. Okay. So I will start with the standard search. I will start with the standard search since I would like to emphasize that this newspaper feature is now currently, it will be turned off. And if you choose to enable the newspaper feature, when your patron is going to search in the standard search, newspaper content is going to be excluded, and you get only material, scholarly material in your search results. So I'm going to search here for Nobel Prize in Literature. Okay, I'm going to search here for Nobel Prize in Literature, and I will only see here only article, and there will be no news. If I'm going to search to look for news, I will be teaser here. There will be a teaser here that if you are searching for a newspaper, there is a link to the newspaper lobby page. And another teaser on this, and another teaser for the news on this standard search will be if I would like to read news about the Nobel Prize and see who wins the Nobel Prize specifically in the news in literature. I'm going to filter. If I would like to filter by the news search, I can see now that it's a little bit different from the regular Facet. And then instead of that, I have a link to the newspaper search. So I'm going to link that. And when linking on the newspaper search here, what I'm getting here is the new landing page for newspaper, as seen here. I also have the ability to go back to my library search here. But you can see here that we have a new entry in new entry for newspaper in the main menu entry. And while activating the Nobel Prize in Literature here now, the search was only on a newspaper article. And now I can choose to go and see that Bob Dylan wins the Nobel Prize in Literature. And I can go to the full display. Okay. something wrong here. Let me just search again. And I will be able to view the content. I can link, and I will be able now to go and see the news item specifically for the article and read more about it. Okay. Now, if I'm going here to the newspaper for my main menu entry here, what I'm able to see is what I discussed about is the feature newspaper here. And here specifically, I define historical news and I link it to the New York Times. For the business and finance, I link it to other, I can link it to up to 5 ISSN, so I can choose several news material for the business and finance. If I'm clicking on the historical news, I will be able to search only on this New York Times collection, special collections. So if I'm going to search on design a ship, and I'm searching only on the scope of this historical newspaper, what I can see is that I'm getting an article for 1913, and it's referring to the Titanic. Okay, so I can see, I don't know what happened when I open the full display here. Let me search again, sorry. So I'm going to open, the article from 1913 of how they designed the Titanic, not to think and read more data and historical news. I can tell you playing with this newspaper is really interesting material that is being exposed, and as said, there will be a new newspaper index to search for that and more collection to be added. And as you can see here, if I'm expand beyond my library collection, I will be able to search across 1 billion newspaper material. There will be an article of how this, more article on this feature, and I would like now to discuss on the rollout of this feature. So we are releasing this feature as a beta version. We encourage you to test this and give us feedback on the newspaper. You will see in your registration now a new filter for newspaper, and there will be more collections adding to that. You will be able to active more special collections, news collections over there. The current existing collections that you are currently activated as Primo Central will be also activated and mapped to the new newspaper article index. As said, you currently you can choose to opt in this feature. And in terms of the rollout, since there are cross-product rollout to support the newspaper here, so the feature we will see during my gradually rollout of that for registration or for the content to add more material. So this feature can be, we will be able to opt in this feature starting of June, and we will do a rollout message for that, and a dedicated webinar for the newspaper. So it's been released in May, but in order to fully play with it and see how it's working, we encourage you to wait until to activate it on June. Okay, so this was regarding the newspaper. Okay, now I would like to move to a feature that was in the classic UI, and customer requested to have this feature also for the new UI. We're talking about the pre-filter. The pre-filter is actually about helping prior to do the search to define on what material, on what scope, what material to search for. There will be a new below the search, the simple step below the search, there will be the ability to configure on which resource type to look to search against and what the search operator, and also specifically on what search target, if I would like to search only on the title or on the author field. So all of these pre-filters are now also in part of the new interface, and it also shares the same configuration in the back office as exists for the classic UI. The only change that by default this feature is turned on. If you would like to enable it, there will be a new flag to enable the pre-filter, and you can see that this is the pre-filter in the new UI, and we can do a short demo for that. Oh, just a second. I meant to go to the simple search, and then you can see that I choose to search for Harry Potter, and only on the books. I can choose also to look only specifically on journals, and doing so, I'm looking for journal. I'm getting all of this material, so this is the pre-filter. Okay, next, the book chapters. What we have currently in the Primo Central is that we have many book chapters, but they are all mapped to the Facet resource type. When they are mapped to the Facet resource type, they currently defined as book. So we have some kind of mix over there of books and book chapters. We are going to do a separation for that, and there will be a new Facet value for the book chapters. This change is for the relevant for the Primo Central, for the PCI Recodes, and in case to discuss of how this is going to be rolled out to you, is this change is going to come only on June with the Primo Central monthly release. So in June, after the next cycle, of the Primo Central, I'm estimated as June 11. You will be able to see a new Facet value for book chapters on your when you search against Primo Central in the Facet resource tab, you will see a new Facet book chapters. If you are already by June 11 already have the May release, then you will see it. You will see it as part of. You will see it in a nice manner with the label of book chapter. If you are a local customer, you haven't managed to install the May release by then, we recommend you to add a label. To recommend to the code table a label to allow a nice look for the book chapter that is going to appear there. So this is in case of the book chapters. I can tell you that I saw it in the balut in the NES balut for the 2013, and we also saw customer requesting for that. So now we are implementing that. Okay. Next, we'd like to talk about the performance improvements. With each release, we are focusing on how to improve the performance. So in the May release, what we did is to improve the performance in blended search. We optimized the way that we optimized the time that is going to be the search results are going to be retrieved. We did so by separating the calculation of the Facet count, the Facet counter, from the returning of the search results. So we will first return the search results and we leave the Facet counters later. So you will be able to see more faster the search results. So this is one optimization in terms of the blended search. We also completed the task of reducing the packet size and optimize the initial application load. by splitting the code into modules and loading only and downloading the code only on the demand. So if I'm currently on the new search, only the code relevant for the new search is going to be downloaded. If I'm going to my library card or to my favorites, only the first time you're doing the code, first time for each SP, or unless you are working in incognito mode, so each time, only then the code is going to be downloaded. There. So we completed this task of optimize the application load and also have a control on this packet size. Okay, more updates are coming in the May release. We released in the February release the feedback message. Those feedback messages were designed to help the patron know and to reflect them if there are some kind of invalid search query, or we are going to have feedback messages that suggest them to change it if there are some kind of technical issue. We are also reflecting it to the patron, or also if the search engine think that the search was not enough and he expanded the results. We also did this work in the February release. We saw in the Primo list some feedback. We saw really positive feedback on having these feedback messages, but we also saw your feedback on specifically the show expanding results, and also we saw the way you changes the messages over there. So we took those your feedback and took it into improvement of this feedback message. We tune the appearance of the show expanded results message, reduce it based on your feedback, based on an example we check from your search, and we also update the no results found. So you can see, we will see also improvement in this feedback message aspect item. Okay. More updates in Europe. There is in May release the law of the privacy regulation. So we prepared for that. In February we allow in the February release we allow the deletion of tags and user data in the institution level as a part of preparation and also to help you admin it better. We also fixed some related issue in my release of when clearing user data, and I invite you to look on an article of how Primo is aligned with the GDPR, with the privacy regulation. So it's also coming in the May release, and I think that they also dedicated message for that on the list yesterday. Okay, coming soon. This is really an exciting tool. We call it Primo Studio. It's not related to the Primo release. It's an evolution. It's kind of evolution to the Open Discovery framework. This tool, and I want to demo for that because we are going to demo it at Luna next week, and we will do when it's finally roll out. In the coming month. And we will do a dedicated webinar. The Primo Studio, this tool, nice tool that you can see the mock-up of it here, is enable you the library admin to really play and easily brand the look and feel of Primo. You will be very easily can change the icon. Or change the theme of the theme of the new interface. So you can also change very easily the resource type icons. I saw that the customer, I saw some complaint that so using this tool, you will really immediately upload resource type that you would like to have for books and article. You can do it. So we will have the ability to, using this palette, change the themes and the color, very easily upload logo, the fav icon, and also the resource type. And the most important and powerful things of this Primo Studio is that you will be able to share among libraries, among the Primo community, features and add-ons that were developed by the community. We are, with this Primo Studio, providing a platform for really easily add customization that was developed by another institution. So we are working very closely with the Primo Working Group, and library will be able to contribute to this feature, to these add-ons, and within one click, you will be able to preview what customization did in another and share it and add it to your package. After you add some customization that you like and try and test it on this tool, you will be able to get more enriched customization package and take it to your back office and deploy it, and it will be work. So this is about how this tool, Primo Studio, is about how to leverage the Primo community development and feature and take it into a next phase. So you will be here very soon at the Primo Studio exciting tool. Okay. Next, I would like to show, unless there are some questions, I would like to also emphasize what is coming soon in the August release. So in the August release, we are going to have the next request of adding action to my library card. This ability is now, you will be able to open library card and to select loans or requests and apply actions such as email or push to citation on a bulk of, you can do that on a bulk of requests that you selected or on a bulk of loans that you selected. So the challenge on this is I know how to map the loan request that retrieve from the ILS into the record and to apply and therefore to allow and apply the actions that you have on currently on when you are navigating on a PNX record. So this is coming in August. Another thing that is coming August, voted very highly in the idea, and I'm going to update this idea as planned soon, is the ability to navigate if I'm in a full display. You will have the ability to navigate among records from the full display as if you are in the brief results. So this is voted very highly in the idea, so it is planned for the August release. Also, with the August release, we will emphasize also UX improvement over there. So we will also going to provide an ability to wrap the text for the Facet. We saw some feedback from you on that, and this is coming also in the August release. I might have the ability to share it with you here in the mockup. Okay, so this is how it's going to look. If you have a long text in your Facet, this is how it's going to look. Currently, the way it looks is the text is being cut, and you have the 3 dots, and only by hovering with the tooltip is going to be displayed. So this is also an improvement to the UX. We are also going to do some improvement to the sign-in, also based on feedback. So I have no mock-up to show you yet, but it's also coming soon. And of course, we are working also allowing a reference entry to be on top on the search results with an abstract to display. So if you are looking for global warming and you would like to get an idea or the reference entry and a description on that, it's going to be appear on top of the search result. We previously planned it in the other release, and currently it is being under an analysis for the August release. The issue with the reference entries is about the data. Before releasing it, we need to make sure that the data, there's enough abstract and description for records that are marked as reference entry. So we are working on analyzing the data, and the release of this reference entry is really depend on the quality of the data there. I didn't put it here, but also there is another NERC request that is planned for the August release. It's about date Facet range, and I will share it with you more on the August release. It's just so I think that now, if you have any questions to ask, this is a good time.